Hey guys, the name is Kris Barocsi, and this time I'm sitting in a different corner in my studio. This is my editing table. This is where I mix all my videos and edit the videos as well. I'm sitting here for a good reason. Today we're checking out something really interesting. It's a complete guide to drum programming. It's like, why is he showing something like this? This is a guitar channel, isn't it? Well, yeah, of course. A guitar pedal or a new guitar or an amp is more interesting for sure. But I do believe that programming drums is very important for us guitar players, especially nowadays where you cannot even gig, you cannot rehearse, you cannot do anything. If we want to create music, if we want to record just a demo or even a finished album, and we don't have the chance to use real drums because we don't have the mics, we don't have a room where we can be loud or sounds good, it is very important to be able to program drums. My buddy Henning Pauly, who's also known as HB42 here on YouTube, called me the other day and he told like, Kris, I made this complete guide to programming drums. And I was like, what did you do? Why would you do something like this? And he was like, you can't believe the amount of questions I get, but first and foremost, there are no alternatives. There's no such thing really existing. And I was like, okay, that's weird because learning to program drums is not the easiest thing ever, especially because we are guitar players. We're not drummers. We don't have the mindset of a drummer. And now, of course, Henning is Henning. He's pretty much a love or hate kind of person. So you love his childish jokes and weird claws and all that, or you hate him. But one thing's sure, he knows what he's talking about. He's doing this for so many decades and studied, I think, music composition. And he also has many years of experience as a guitar teacher. So he knows how to explain stuff, how to make people understand certain things. And that's something that is very important in my book, if we're talking about a guide or like a series of lessons. This guide to drum programming is going to be one of the lessons on Glenn Fricker's new sort of online course or whatever collection of lessons, basically, which is a little funny because Glenn is well known for hating programmed drums. Well, there you go. In the name of transparency, you've probably seen the text at the beginning of the video in that corner saying includes paid promotion. This is not a paid video. I didn't get money for making this video, but there is an affiliate link in the description box. That's going to take you to this course, to this guide, and you can check it out for yourself if you're interested in it. I think it costs around like $90, 90 euros, whatever, something like this. It's a fair price, I think, for like 15 hours, 16 hours, not sure exactly, of lessons. Okay, first let's check out the trailer of Henning's complete guide to drum programming.
In a world where you don't have a space to record drums, no mics to record them, and you don't want to hang out with your drummer because he's dating your girlfriend, one man dares to come to the rescue. A man so brave that any sense of fashion doesn't even try to approach him.
So true.
You will tour many drum VSTs, build drum maps, assign individual outs, and learn mixing techniques. You will gain the secrets of the groove and see the techniques on a real drum kit.
Here's a short overview of all the courses. It's 22 courses. The first is Introduction, then Drum Essential Editor, the Drum Editor, then Groove Agent, Native Instruments, Get Good Drums, all kinds of plugins that provide really good sounding programmable drum kits, basically. Superior Drummer, Stephen Slate drums, BFD3, Battery 4, and then of course combining stuff and how to mix VSTs, how to program drums, and then Henning gets into details with quantizing, ghost notes, subtle playing. And that's exactly why I'm doing this video now. I do believe that this is very useful for so many guitar players. It's not very simple for us to think with a drummer's brain. It's easy to listen to drummers and tell if we like them or not, but it's really hard to create a drum pattern that's actually playable for a real drummer and that has that human element to it that a real drummer gives you. Because let's be honest, ideal scenario is that you have a drummer and you have enough mics and channels and you can record that drum. I'm especially interested in the subtle drums lesson, which is lesson number 21, because I have a theory about subtle drums when you only have like one bass, one guitar, and you're programming drums for that. And I'm really interested if Henning is talking about that or not.
Frequently, and we talked about that in mixing drums, is sending them into the Ocean Way studio. And there you have a way of pulling the mics back and giving you that beautiful room sound. Imagine a drum kit in the corner, maybe overhead kick drum mic, but primarily you're using the room. You don't need that super hard impact fighting against metal guitars that are downtuned. So room is everything.
Thank you. Exactly. Let me tell you about my approach, how I program drums, and what are those few things that, in my opinion, are really important to know about. First of all, I'm using Easy Drummer, which is one of these drum softwares, plugins basically. I'm using Studio One as a DAW, as a DAW, and I use Easy Drummer in Studio One. So I'm recording my screen, so let me show you what I'm talking about exactly. So this is how my DAW looks like. This is my project for one of my videos. This was the Honeybee pedals video, where I recorded a short song, I don't know, like a minute or something, 43 seconds, of guitar, bass, and drums. The guitars are pretty simple. Guitar 1 and 2 are both just one recording, split to two tracks. This was the aux, and that's on one side of the mix, and guitar 3 and 4 is my other guitar channel, which was recorded with the 2-note Torpedo Captor X, and that's panned to, I guess, to the right. Guitar 3 and 4 are panned to the right, guitar 1 and 2 are panned to the left. So that's what's going on here with the guitar. What you can see here on this first track, that's called Easy, and that's my Easy Drummer track. It's a MIDI track basically, and if I open that, you will see this key editor, which you can swap of course to the drum editor. What I always focus on when I'm programming drums is that I don't stick to the grid. The grid are the lines. If every hit is exactly on the grid, it sounds like a machine, because there's no drummer on this planet who will place all of his or her hits on the grid, right? That's what makes us human. And I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind when you're programming drums, that you should not be super precise. I'll show you a couple of seconds of this song part, like all the instruments, and then just focus on one or two parts of the drums to show you what I mean with you should not really seriously stick to the grid lines. If you experiment with this, not sticking to the grid too much, you will develop a feel for where it makes sense to pull a hit, a snare hit or a hi-hat hit a little earlier than the grid is, or a little behind that grid. What I want to show you is First of all, let's zoom in a little. Here are the first few bars. Can you see this hi-hat? I think it's the hi-hat. Yeah. It's the open hi-hat, and it's really not on the grid. And that's again something that happens quite often with drummers, that their two sticks in their left and right hand doesn't hit whatever they want to hit exactly like at the same time. Let's check it out. It just feels like a laid-back kind of drummer, to me at least. That's what I love to pay attention to, and it takes quite some time. I admit it. Whenever I create a video with a song example in it, it takes so much more time to be finished with the audio edit than if it was just some guitar playing and some voice, recording. So yeah, that's the price you pay. Like when I'm writing a song like this, or like a lick like this, I imagine the Rage Against the Machine drummer, or I imagine Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, or those groovers who are more the laid-back kind of drummers, and would bring those hits a little too late, but all of them a little too late. So it just feels like it has the groove. And one more thing I always pay attention to is velocity. The velocity of each and every hit. That's basically the amount of power the drummer has when he hits that snare or whatever. And if there's like a snare roll or whatever, a da-da-da-da, one of your hands will be just a little bit more quiet than the other. Or if it's a double bass line, the same thing. And I have an example here. Let me search for it fast. Where's that hit? There you go. It's again solo, so this is just the easy drum. This da-da-da-da feels as natural as it gets with programmed drums, for me at least. And if I select that track, the snares, you can see the velocity. This means one of his hands, of my computer drummer, is stronger than the other. And this just makes it feel more natural. Also, all of these hits are just too late. You see that? The hi-hat? No, the bass drum, sorry. The bass drum is on the grid. It's like a machine pulling that straight groove. And then comes the snare fill, and it's just way too late. But that makes it more heavy, if you know what I mean. If it's on the grid, it's just more like da-da-da-da. But like this, let me show it again with the guitars and everything. It doesn't sound like a machine gun anymore. It sounds more like actual snares. And one more thing about how I mix the drums whenever I'm programming. I have this mixer surface in Easy Drummer. You have control over the volume and the bleed and all of that per mic, basically. You have a overhead mic, a kick drum, a snare, hi-hat, ambience, compression, reverb, all that stuff. And what I always do is I go way up with the overhead and the ambient and the reverb as well, if it fits the song, if I want it more wet, basically. And that's really cool in Easy Drummer. I'm pretty sure all of the other plugins also have that. If I solo that and solo the drum track, it sounds really, really roomy. But that's cool. And the ambient is also very nice. Which actually sounds like a real mic in a real room where a real drummer plays. Can you hear that? That's not a plane about to take off. That's my MacBook. Intel inside. Okay, before my laptop's cooling explodes, it's time to wrap up this video. Hit subscribe and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. We'll meet in the comment section below and we will see each other in a few days. I'll be back. Bye bye.